The next episode of the Leading Ladies podcast is going to drop some serious energy and inspo in your ears. We are talking about a woman who's danced her way from Ranchi to global recognition, swapped engineering to endorphins, and taken her passion of movement into a movement. We are talking about Sucheta Pal. I used to call her mother of Zumba in India, a fierce mama, a businesswoman, a mentor, and above all, a reinventor who's had more career twists than Beyonce's dance break. She's today towards her journey in being a founder and creator for a very unique program for moms to return back to their fitness journey with a program called Bod Strong. We not only have Sucheta Pal in the house.
Yay! So excited to be a Shilpa.
She's here breaking it down, building it up, and above all, reminding us all that one can start over anytime, strongly and boldly. So be ready for real talk, belly laughs, some deep reflection, and maybe some dance moves along the way.
For sure.
So before we start breaking into a dance which help us uncover the different layers of Sucheta Pal, I would say the different shades of Sucheta Pal, 50 shades of Sucheta Pal. We've had so many conversations, a lot about it. You know, you have been an engineer from Ranchi, been in the corporate world, entered into world of fitness, dance, which is very, very different than what you were doing. How was your journey? I mean, I only have so many questions again.
No, it helps me reflect back, because when you said that someone would take 100 thoughts or 100 times they would think about it, and now when I think about it, it took me not 100 times but 100 times thinking for 700 days. Because it took me 2 years to come to that decision, Shilpa. Like, it was not easy. As you mentioned, I'm from Ranchi. I'm from a small town. So our focus is either to become an engineer or a doctor.
Yeah.
My parents' life savings went into that, and it was my goal as well. And I got it. I achieved my goal from Ranchi all the way to Mumbai. My first experience of the Chakachond of Mumbai. I loved my work. The corporate life was great initially, but at the same time, I got sucked into the 9 to 9 job hustle, and it took a very deep effect on my health. So much so that it affected not only my gut health in a very, very bad way, but also my mental health, and it became a vicious cycle. But the only time I felt solace or some kind of peace was when I danced, some kind of joy when I moved. So as I was working, I simultaneously started my professional dance training, because I always loved dancing. I had done my Bharatanatyam training when I was younger, but I kind of left it because studies took over. So this was like, when you have that light bulb moment, okay, let's go back to dance, because that's somewhere deep down, it's your calling. So I learned ballet, jazz, everything. And I remember feeling amazing. Simultaneously, there was a turmoil going on in my head that, should I stick to my corporate life, which I was not, something was amiss, or should I leave everything, a high-flying job, money, everything, and then lead the struggle life of becoming a professional dancer at the age of 23. Obviously, I chose the hard path.
As we call you, the reinventor.
It was hard. So, I never paint a rosy picture of quitting your corporate job, the cushy job. If you can manage both, please do it, because I had to literally live on vada paos. I did 3 part-time jobs. I have done everything. So my ego is -10, but I still believe that decision changed the trajectory of my life.
I mean, that part I did not know. Something is a profession, something is a passion. There is a very thin line of when to make passion into profession. So what made you move your passion into profession? I think that's something that is a question in many people's mind.
When you wake up on a Monday morning and you know that you have to drag yourself to work, that means that work is not for you. Because I realized that it was taking such a mental toll on my health that it was not worth it. I would rather live on 3 times vada pav than wake up in the morning feeling miserable but with a full bank balance. It's a switch that doesn't happen overnight. It happens with a lot of mental turmoil. But at the same time, once you've made that switch, you have to be absolutely sure that that is what you want to do, because it's going to be a tough road. So that I will say that for people to make that switch, there is a gnawing feeling inside of you which will keep knocking at your heart's door, that is this really what you want to do? You're made for something else. Go find your calling. And it's a gnawing feeling. No other way but you will listen to it. Whether you listen to it, when I heard it, it was at the age of 23. I know some of my friends who are listening to that gnawing feeling at 43. So why not? But you cannot shut that voice down. As I said, I was into my professional dance training first, and I was struggling. I was competing with 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds in ballet and jazz. And that's when I realized that, okay, I love dancing. In my head, I have this वो बोलते हैं khayali pulao कि I will become this amazing dancer, professional dancer, you know. But let's get a reality check. Okay, I have a passion for dance, but how can I now take this passion for dance and create something from it? Or how can I still work in the field of dance or fitness or movement and still do something? Now, as destiny has it, my husband and I, at that time we were dating. We got married, and all of this is happening simultaneously.
This is all simultaneous.
All simultaneous.
So when you moved from corporate to this transition was when you were dating as well.
Then we got married. Before that, I had quit. My parents didn't know. No one knew. You know, all of this was happening. And then I was doing my professional dance training. And then he got placed in the US from his office. Best decision of my life, best time of my life. It changed the trajectory of my career, because the moment I landed, it was snowy in December, just before Christmas. There was a studio very close to my home, and wading through that snow, you know, I went to my first Zumba class.
And Zumba was a new concept, right? When you went there.
It was a reach. Every other dance studio had a Zumba session, right? And it's packed with 80 people, and then the stage is empty, and I'm standing at the last row, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? And I'm a little shy Indian girl, like, what to do? Let's wait. And then this lady walks in, and she's really on the heavier side, not what you would think as an instructor, size 0. And she has this beautiful smile. She walked on stage, and it's like, hey, are you all ready for your Zumba class? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, everyone is shouting, ooh, you know how Zumba people go. And I also caught up in that, yes! And there's no one judging the lady because of her size. She starts off, she moves like an angel. And for the first time, I am seeing a 60-year-old, a 16-year-old, an Indian, Mexican, American, everyone dancing together in that room. All the borders of the world have, like, you know,
there are no borders now.
Yeah, they're merged, melted. Music is from across the world. There is fitness. We are doing sports, but we are smiling as we are sweating in pain. And we danced for 1 hour. We didn't realize it was a workout, and I wanted to be her. I wanted to be that instructor. And life changed. I became licensed over there as an instructor. I taught there for 2.5 years just as an instructor.
So in US also you taught?
In the US, I was a certified instructor. I taught in studios across Connecticut. And the CEO of Zumba, so the main office is based in Miami, he wanted to really spread the word of Zumba in India. So international master trainers used to come to India to train the trainers. He wanted an Indian face, but who has had training over in abroad. And I got referred by some master trainers there who liked my work. They called me for an audition to Miami, and I got chosen. I couldn't believe it. The very next month in 2012, I was back in India to lead the country as the master trainer. I was just dropped into the fitness world, which I had no idea about, but it changed.
A few years back, you wouldn't have imagined that this is what you would be doing.
I have anxiety disorder. But you know, when you are thrown into situations where you have to grow, you have to overcome, you know, your mind obstacles or real life obstacles, you will do it only if you're following your passion.
When you started teaching Zumba, I think it was 2012, around that. And Zumba was a new concept in India.
Just a very few instructors.
Very few, and new concept. And that time, fitness was also not that popular as a concept. You know, people would just go for walks maybe, or to gym to some extent. Today we see so much of running, cycling, Zumba, Pilates, I mean fitness, and we know that everybody is doing something or the other, but that was not the case at that time. Leaving your corporate job, Secondly, taking up something which was very new for India, and then mastering it in India as well, and not just the US. How was that journey? Did you find it was difficult for people to first understand what is Zumba in India?
Yeah, I love that question because first, Zumba was already in India taught by a few instructors. Zumba selected me as their first master trainer, and you won't believe the first training I conducted, Shilpa, in India, there were 2 women who walked out because they were expecting an international face. Very quietly, I knew that I had to do the work. So from gym associations, whether it was Talwarkas, whether it was Gold's Gym, I have done a tour with Gold's Gym at that time across India. So it's been an uphill task, but there was meaning behind the struggle, right? Because it was such a fun thing to do. We could see people's life change, not just their bodies, right? First of all, as you said, fitness was not a big deal in India, right? We kind of made it accessible to everyone. It's easy, fun to do, just move. You don't have to go to the gym first. It's beginner level, just come, dance, and just feel happy about, that you're moving your body. So a lot of women started attending this. Second, obviously we had to compete. People thought we had to compete with Bollywood, and people thought Zumba would never work because it was music from all across the world. But you won't believe it how much you believe in it. Bollywood is not separate from Zumba. Bollywood, 1 song or 2 songs are played in a Zumba class. But when they realize there is merengue, there is cumbia, everyone, oh wow, this also sounds like Bollywood, let's dance. And the third thing which really worked for us is that I believe that alone you cannot walk the path to the top. You have to take a team with you. So we built an amazing community, and I made sure that the community grew together. So we've arranged some of the biggest events in India where every instructor, at least I've tried, gets that mileage on stage, behind stage. They grow, their education continues. I've got international trainers in so that their education in Zumba groups, Aqua Zumba, you have to get trained in it, the different formats. And I think that's what has built this community. That it was just not me growing as a name, but every instructor who was touched by the Zumba program, we built together as a community and we spread the word. So it's all kudos to the community. I have 15,000 grandbabies now.
I also call you as Sucheta 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and then we have 2.1.
Yes.
Like I said, there's so many shades
2.1 going
to
on,
Sucheta. Now we have Sucheta 2.0. You were at peak of your engineering career, moved to Zumba, took Zumba as a profession, your passion into profession. Then you became a mom. You took fitness in a different way then. I would say it's a journey which is continuing in the fitness area, and incorporated a program called Bod Strong. And I'm sure it's coming from your own experiences of postpartum, being a new mom. So again, you had to go through those 700 days or 100 thoughts in mind. Should I take this up? Should I not leave Zumba but take this up as an additional feather in the cap for me, because that's something I'm very passionate about. So what all went in your mind again when you decided to shift the gears again?
This shift was deeply personal. When I became pregnant, I knew I had to bust myths around fitness and pregnancy. I was just hoping everything is healthy because I was on a tour across India. It was called the Pregnant and Perfect Tour because I wanted to tell people that pregnancy is not a disease. You're perfectly fine. That's
why. You're fit to do things.
Exactly. I could not believe how my body changed. I thought in my mind I would bounce back. I was into fitness. But I had so many questions. Why is my body having aches and pains? And I realized that I have been in the fitness industry and I don't have answers. How about the everyday woman who's not in the fitness world who may have 10x more questions and no answers? That's when I decided I need to heal my body. So I completely immersed myself, and it was COVID time. And I immersed myself in pre-postnatal education, worked with some of the best international trainers, pelvic floor core rehabilitation, found answers for myself.
So you did a course as well?
International. I'm still studying. I'm actually doing one more course right now. I healed myself, and that's when I realized that every woman deserves answer. They do not deserve to feel lost, and that's why I created Bod Strong. It is a program which I knew in my heart had to be science-backed. education driven with movement, which helps women to learn the skills to return to fitness the right way and the safe way. Celebrities have a different life, different trainers. They have a team to handle it. We have real lives. So in a real life, how can I prepare my women for motherhood? With education. So that's the difference, I wanted to create. And the best part is that now it's also doctors approved by 3 top doctors in the country. So I'm very proud of it. We are going very slow and steady with our workshops and courses and my own VIP coaching. But it was very, very personal. But at the same time, it became a purpose.
Can you tell us of any instance or any memory of yours with a student in your Mom Bod Strong program that has made a difference in their life? I'm sure there have been many such instances, but anything that really connected?
I want to share about 2 women. One, and this was during pandemic, and one of them, she had acute back pain. She was a high-flying corporate woman, and with my core and pelvic floor, that's 3 phases. The first phase is core, pelvic floor, posture correction, healing all the aches and pains, and within a week or 2, she started seeing such a difference in her body and the way she carried herself. And she healed herself and she still manages it. And post-pandemic, she had to undergo breast cancer. She had to go through chemo. But she met me and she told me that whatever I had taught her for her body strengthening from the inside, she actually did it as a post-op rehab just to get her inner strength back. And that is what helped her gain that strength again post-surgery. And I was flabbergasted because in my head, I had put myself in a box that this is just for new moms. But what can the power of good coaching, movement, mindset do in every phase of your life when things are being thrown at your body, especially? It's touching.
Very touching moment.
Very touching, and she's so close to me. I have seen her working hard on herself, She's making the time. It's not for fitness, right? If you're a beginner, you start from 0. If you're a mom, you start from -10.
Yeah.
So postpartum fitness is very different from regular fitness. Your hormones are whack. Your emotions are all over the place. Your nutrients are depleted. There's no sleep. So when you show up, you're not just showing up alone. You're showing up with guilt. You're showing up with body identity crisis. You are showing up with, I am exhausted. So just showing up is hard work in postpartum fitness, and this woman showed up for herself and the changes are visible. So when I say a Mom Bod Strong story, it's not that I inspired her, she inspired me, that if she can do it, I need to keep working on my fitness levels.
Agreed.
So you can get inspired by your students and clients.
Totally. I always say once you give birth to a child, you're giving birth to a new you as well, and you've got to work hard to make sure the next version of you is also as strong as you were before and as healthy as you were before, because there is that dip that comes in during the delivery time and you got to bounce back. But you got to bounce back with the right help, the right support and the right process. So thank you, Sucheta, for that. I also see you keep it raw. You keep it real. I see that there is a lot of clutter around you, the baby toys, and it's not like you're making it aesthetically look nice when you're doing all these exercises. You're keeping it real. And I've seen some messages below your reels where people are saying that अरे थोड़ा घर तो clear कर लो, फिर reel बनाओ, फिर उसको डालो, and I've seen your responses. So I'm not going to respond what you said, but I would like to hear from you. How do you deal with these kind of
I would say
comments?
Thank you to them because they increase my engagement. No, but at the same time, there are a lot of comments, more comments who relate to it. I get DMs who relate to it. In fact, they are the ones who become my clients eventually. But 2 things I like to keep real is that I like to show on my stories who I really am at home. Now, I am different version in different situations, but stories is a way to my inner life, my personal life. And that's where I come out and I get into my ghar ka kapra and I say, I do not have the time to change into some fancy gym wear. So I show my ghar ka kapra workout. And I am okay with that. And in my specs, and I'm not like so well kept as I am.
Or
right
doing makeup and then coming up.
Exactly. And the second thing, I am very open about showing my belly fat. And before this, we were having a little chat and I was telling you, I had to go through therapy.
Yeah.
To be able to come on social media and show that fat. because obviously I am from the mainstream fitness industry where we've also been unconsciously told that fitness means flat bellies, but it is so far from the truth, especially for women, because it is absolutely safe and required for us to have some amount of fat around our belly. That's where our reproductive organs, our uterus, bladder, everything is there. We need to protect it, our ovaries. Second, as we are growing older, there is going to be a little bit more fat deposit in certain areas. Third, take a young woman, forget, people like us who are in our 40s, late 20s, 30s, you're having your menstrual cycle and your body is going to change throughout the month. One day your belly is going to look flat, washboard abs, and the second day you're going to feel bloated. And there's a reason. The body is trying to protect you in various ways during the cycles. Why don't we put out what a woman's body should look like actually?
And you be confident in that.
But if I don't, someone who's gone through this whole process, if I don't now voice out this, how can a younger woman find her voice? So yes, can I take some trolls on me? Absolutely. If the next generation has more empowering thoughts about their body, so I'm okay to take more trolls. At the same time, I have realized that a lot of women now who are in motherhood have issues. I have clients who have 15-year-olds who come to me. So my program is just not for a new mom of a 2-month, 3-month, or 2 years postpartum, 7 years, whatever it is. Come, because healing can start at any time. And no, just because you have a flat belly or no fat doesn't mean that you're fit. Can you pick up your baby pain-free? Can you go for a hike with your teenage son to the top of a mountain and not be huffing and puffing? So I think we need to change the perspective about what fitness should look like.
You have written on your social media in your story, I'm going off social media. I will see you after a few days, few weeks, few months. So was it some kind of responsible for so many things? You're a mother, you are a mentor, you are creating a program which also drains you out your energy as well, and there's so much going on in your mind. So why such breaks from social media? What was it?
I've deeply thought about it, and I've realized that 3 things. One is I'm an educator at the core. So the moment I think I'm not adding value on my social media, it just hits me. I'm like, no, I need to go back to the drawing board and I need to focus on what I want to speak to my people. Even if it's like 5 likes, I have to work for those 5 likes. I have to earn it. So I think that comes from that core purpose of mine, which is an educator. I love studying. That's my second thing. So currently I'm doing another course where it's absolutely on postpartum corrective exercise.
The one you mentioned you're currently doing.
Yeah, it's an international certification. It's just to work on that. And the third, it takes a toll on your mental health, because whether we like it or not, social media also kind of hits you hard because you're working so hard on content, and then you see nothing against someone who's dancing and having fun, but they are getting like million likes and then you're like, is it worth it? You question your life decisions, and okay, take a break and spend time with the real life, and I love to take a break during my birthday because that's the time when I think about what I've done in the last year's time. But now I think people have got used to me taking these breaks. Whether I have been with Fasten Up or with Chic Nutrix, I have openly told the team that I will be taking a month's break and not be able to post certain things. And you've always supported it. And I have to be incredibly grateful for that, because not all brands would understand what a social media or a mental health break means. So kudos for that.
Thank you.
Not even once I was questioned.
I think self-care is important for us as a brand. So anybody who's taking self-care, giving priority to self-care, we would always love to support. Being a mother, being a businesswoman, a mentor, a fitness instructor, and in this whole chaos, how do you prioritize self-care? Because that's always one thing that we are always neglecting if we have so many roles to play. So how do you ensure that this is not neglected by you?
Having a supportive partner. I think that's the missing equation. I see a stark difference in women and others who haven't. It's not their fault, it's the support around them.
I totally agree on that.
And I know because you have a supportive partner. So I feel there's sometimes when he'll do 70%, I'll do 30. There'll be days when I do 70 and he has a hectic office life. and he'll just do 30. And that is a beautiful partnership. That's partnership. And then when you finally get time for self-care, mean to you as an individual matters. For me, it's numbing my mind with Netflix maybe for half an hour. I think it's very important that I find time for things that I truly love. So for example, I love studying. So I wake up in the morning. I was never a morning person. I was a late night owl. But motherhood changed it because school time. So now I am the earliest waker in the home, and I wake up at 5, and that 1 hour is my study time, and it's my favorite time of the day. Then my son goes off to school, and every day without fail I have 1 hour of workout. And you may think I'm a fitness coach and I would love working out, but I do not.
It's pushing yourself.
Because for the right reasons. You have to find your reason. How do I want to feel in my life? How do I want to show up in motherhood? How do I feel after a workout, right? That glow after a sweat session is very different, yeah?
And
of course the glow. That's my me time. And then of course I get into my work, and then when my son comes back, it's complete focus on him. When my husband comes back from, thankfully I have a work from home situation. So when my husband comes back from office, we make sure we sit down and have some tea. That's self-care for me because I need my bonding time. Don't believe in equal partnership. It's partnership that works for individual couples. The key ingredient is build a support system.
That's a very interesting point. The key ingredient is build an ecosystem. You come on the stage and there is this aura, this energy, and you have to also make others feel like, let's kill it.
Yes.
Right? You come with that energy. But for you, what is that anchor in your life which keeps you calm at the same time, which keeps you grounded at the same time? I think that is also required.
I always answer this question with, where do I feel home is? And for me, my home is my husband. He's always anchored me, but he's always been the one who's kept me very grounded. He's been my support system. In my initially Zumba days in the US, I don't know how to drive. So for 2.5 years, he drove me every day, morning and evening, to the studio, stood outside, whether it was snowing, raining, sunshine. He would wait in the car and then drive me back. In my pregnancy too, he was the one behind the stage with a fan in one hand and water in one hand. He's like, I am there. And in the first few months of motherhood, I did not feel any mamta. It was zero. He was the one, and I told him, I am going to pop the baby out, then it's yours. He took it to heart. He was there for the baby and still is. You need to have that kind of a life partner, and wish it for everyone.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no perfect relationship, but when it comes to my anchor, I would say I've been very blessed.
Great, Sucheta. I think it's been a great conversation, a great chat, and for many women out there who are at the crossroads of their second innings at times, or at the crossroads of thinking of changing gears in profession, in career, I think today's podcast would be a great help for you all. Somewhere when 700 times you're thinking, 100 times you're thinking,
Yes.
Probably you can listen to this podcast and take your decision, and we just hope that all of you go places and achieve all you aspire for. Sucheta, today's podcast has definitely made it clear that you are an ultimate remix of grit and grace.
Thank you.
Hustle and heart, sneakers and sass.
I like that so much. Thank you.
And you've shown us that motherhood doesn't mean hitting pause. It means hitting play, stronger, and on a bolder version of ourselves.
Absolutely.
You turned your life into masterclass in transformation and made it look damn fun while doing it.
Thank you.
And between binkies and burpees, launching programs, mentoring women, you've made it look so cool and made sure that reinvention is not about just a chapter. It's about your whole story. Thank you, Sucheta, for keeping it real, keeping it raw, and keeping us moving in every word that we said. Now, listeners, go stretch those hammies, because after this podcast, we are going to live life Sucheta way.